everyone, this is David Erland again, and I want to share a little bit of something that's kind of personal to me. And know it's about Gen Xers, and sure enough, the lottery was first started in Oregon in 1984, right smack in the middle of the Gen Xer generation. We started and got used to the lottery. Now, I'm going to admit this is going to be a long video, so hang in with me if you can. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to help with the YouTube algorithm. And one of the reasons why I decided to make this video is because I log in and all the time I see advertisements for how to win the lottery, how to, go gambling at the casino and win a fortune, and how to do this and that and the other thing. Well, surprise, I am a two-time Oregon State Lottery winner. Now, I'm going to show you things, and I want to let you know I am not a tax attorney. I am not an investment advisor. So, if you should win, and I'll go through some of the steps of what I would do if I won the grand jackpot, a little bit later, please do your own research, okay, and come up to your own conclusions. And if you find out something interesting, put it in the comments section. Share it with everybody. If you're not in the United States or in the state of Oregon, tell me about your state, or what happens if you've won the lottery or a jackpot or gotten an inheritance that you weren't expecting. Okay, my first jackpot was, and I'm going to be relying on notes here, so you'll see me looking down every once in a while and drinking my ever-loving cup of coffee. July 4th of 2005, I hit in the Oregon game called Megabucks, okay? And I want to let you know the tickets I'm holding up are for drawings that they've already lost, so don't bother trying to get this scanned and try and claim it, because there's nothing to claim. As an aside, if you guys share, people say, oh, I bought for the $1 billion Powerball and here's my ticket, and I see people sending it with the barcode scanner still there. In some states, you can actually go in and someone can rip off that barcode scanner and go in and claim your winnings, okay? And it's a pain in the neck to try and get them to lawsuit and then all kinds of other things, okay? Cover up this barcode scanner every single time, okay? Now, this is Megabucks is Oregon State Lottery. It starts at $1 million and goes up until somebody wins. It is different than Mega Millions, which is a multi-state lottery, okay? I matched the first 5 out of the 6 numbers in Megabucks in July of 2005, and for that I won $2,670. Had I hit that 6th number, it would have been 10 million, and I was one number off. I had 32 on my ticket, and they drew 33. But not a bad drive to Salem. In October of 2019, 2 months before COVID broke out, I won in a game called Win for Life, and I matched all the numbers in the bottom row section for a $10,000 prize. Now, first of all, what happens for taxes? In the United States, we pay taxes on our winnings. It's 24% federal and 8% for the state of Oregon. Now, if you want to win the lottery in the United States, you want to be a resident of Puerto Rico, because my understanding is they don't pay federal taxes. Remember, no taxation without representation. And because they're not an actual state, all they do is they have to pay, I believe it's 12% state taxes. Anybody, if you think differently, put it down below in the comments section, okay? Now, another aside, kind of to share a family thing about problem gambling. In Oregon, if you have a problem with the lottery and the machines and the tickets and everything, there is opgr.org, or you can call 1-877-MY-LIMIT. And I'll tell you a family horror story. In the state of Montana, in the late 90s, or I should say early to mid 90s, My Uncle Gary, his second wife, Joanne, had a problem with gambling. And she went to the Montana machines and she ran up tab after tab after tab. And when they filed for divorce, she had $300,000 in debt to the casino that my uncle knew nothing about, and he had to pay for it as part of the divorce. He must have felt sorry for her or something and agreed to pay for it. $300,000. So, of course, what happened? Oh, she's got good credit now. She paid off $300,000. She must be able to do it again. So she ran up $500,000 in debt. $500,000 in debt. Second time. And the last I heard, she had to declare bankruptcy, and then that forced her into treatment. And she's actually doing well, I guess, and hasn't gambled in many, many years. So good for her for at least getting the help. Sad that she had to screw over my uncle royally in the divorce proceedings to get to the point where she could get help. But at any rate, people want to know, what is the magical thing to win the lottery? Is there an amulet? Is there a chant you can do? Is there a bracelet you can buy? If I buy a book or an online course, will they tell me the magical numbers that win the lottery? The answer is no. The only thing that I have ever come across in all of my years of researching, because trust me, having won the lottery twice, I researched a lot about what happens if I win it big on the third time. There is only one thing that I found, and it is a slight bump in your odds, and that is after the lottery is won and it resets to its lowest level, that's when the fewest people buy tickets, and so you have a slightly larger chance to win it, okay? And I'm making these numbers up, but it's on the order of, instead of 1 out of 100 million, it's 1 out of every 99 million, okay? So it's not a big bump, but it's the only thing that I am aware of. Okay, and I always see but what happened to that lady that wrote down the numbers, and then she, when the lottery hit those numbers, she won, 150 million or whatever it was. And I've seen these stories too, and I can tell you right now that it was a mathematical probability that someone of her type was going to win the lottery eventually. There are thousands of lottery winners in the world. And so her numbers were bound to come up eventually. You see, the nice thing is every single person who plays the lottery is going to win. Everyone. You, me, Uncle Gary, Fido, if he can buy a ticket. It might take you 500,000 years to do it, but you will win the lottery, okay? There is no such thing as a magical chant, an amulet, a course that you can take that will increase your odds to win the lottery. Take it from someone who's done it twice. Okay? It is a game of random chance. Now, I'm going to go through some things, what I do if I won the grand jackpot. Okay? This is not meant to be investment advice or tax advice. Okay, and I'll go through that in the minutiae. So please do what is appropriate for your country, your state, your locality, in your personal situation. Okay, but for me, the first thing I would do is I would shut off all social media or set it to its most restrictive possible, so that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can reach out and try and get a hold of me. One lottery winner shared that the day after he went to the post office when he collected and a word had gotten out, and they said, "Come here, we've got that." And they went back, and there was like 7 garbage bags, huge garbage bags filled with letters. Over 10,000 letters people had written to him asking him for money. Okay, he hired an investigator. Tongue-tied for a minute, to go through, and the investigator found that over 90% of those were actually frauds. But even the 10%, he said, that were legitimate would just absolutely break your heart, he said. So you're going to have to learn how to develop a thick skin, but worse, if you can, in your state, go private. In Oregon, we have to go public, with one exception. A guy in Baghdad, Iraq, won. And so they pleaded with people, please don't sue us, because if you do, in Oregon law, they would have had to publish his name and where his location is and everything. And this guy would have been marked for death if it had been known that he was now a multimillionaire in the United States. So they waited and just prayed that nobody sued him, because they would have been forced to publish this guy's information until he could come to the United States as an immigrant and claim his winnings in Salem, Oregon. There's a story for you. Number 2, I would call the lottery headquarters to get the amounts, the winnings. Plus, they also keep lists of tax attorneys, tax advisors, and investment advisors who actually deal with lottery winners, past lottery winners. And so I would get at least one tax attorney and 2 to 3 registered investment advisors. And the reason why I say 2 or 3 is, and I would divide up how much I want to invest between the 3 of them, in case one of them happens to be a Bernie Madoff or a fraudster. You don't lose everything. You only lose maybe a third. Still annoying, but not devastating to the point where you're looking at bankruptcy now because some idiot took all of your money. Only tell the immediate family and swear them to silence. Say, if I catch you releasing my information before I go and get my winnings and I tell you it's okay, you're going to be cut out of the will, so to speak. You won't get anything. Do not post about your winnings. That goes without saying. Have you and your spouse make a list of 10 to 20 things that you want to do with your winnings. Share it back and forth. Share it with your tax attorney. Share it with your investment advisors. And I would take the additional step of making it so that any amount, say, and I'm making up a number, $15,000, any amount above that, my attorney has to co-sign it before I can go out and buy it. You can do that. So this way, if I want to purchase, the Love Boat for $100 million, my attorney can say, David, don't. That damn thing is full of holes and it's ancient and you're going to spend more money than it's worth trying to get it, seaworthy again. Okay? Disappear for a while. A lot of them have said because of the media crush and everything, they just packed up everything, put it in their trailer, and just took off for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months if you can. Develop a thick skin and learn to say no a lot. One of the things when I watch about, these lottery winners that lose everything, one of the things they do is they can't say no to people. And so, but they said really mean and nasty things, so I had to give them $100,000. No, you don't. You don't owe anybody any damn thing. Okay? That money is yours for a game of random chance, and it's not going to come around ever again, at least statistically speaking. So it's yours to hold on to, not theirs. Yeah, so I said set up a mechanism where your tax attorney has to co-sign on every amount above a certain limit. Okay? As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Even if you don't agree with me, put it down and tell me why. Tell me your experience, especially if you have won the lottery. You say, well, in the United Kingdom, we don't have to pay taxes, and, it's all on an annuity system, or all on you get your cash up front, 100%, and no taxes are taken out. Okay? Put that down below. It'd be really interesting to hear. As always, this was just what I would do if I won the big jackpot. Again, it's not meant as tax or investment advice. Do your own research. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day.